I set myself a goal back in December that this year I would release a single every 6 weeks,
Nice.
complete with a music video. And
Nice.
thus far, I have been on track for that.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah, it's pretty intense. I worked my ass off back in January and February, not even thinking that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
But that's all kind of worked out, paid off, which has been great. But yeah, so I've got my next single coming out in 9 days. It's a song called Save You From Yourself. My
Nice.
last single came out on the 2nd of April called Be Brave, which is all about showing up, for yourself, being brave, and, looking scary things in the eye and going, it's okay, we're going to survive. It's going to be all right. Which I wasn't planning to release that during this. It just kind of happened. I don't know, it was scheduled to be released on the 2nd of April, and then COVID happened, and I'm like, oh, well, isn't timing fun?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's still happening. And I think the biggest thing that I've really had to pivot, buzzword of the week, has been I've been focusing a lot more on coaching and on working with both young people and adults to really help them help themselves. Songwriting has been one of my superpowers since I was 10 years old. Songwriting helped me not commit suicide. Songwriting helped me to understand my inner freak, being somebody who has had 10 brain surgeries, for example. It's like there are not many 10-year-olds who can say that they've had 10 brain surgeries. So, I've always been a little bit weird. And on that note, I've been able to use songwriting as a tool of helping me understand, become friends with, and eventually love myself. So if I can work with other people to use songwriting as a tool to do that for themselves, I think that's really powerful. Talking about this yesterday on my live stream with Stephanie Matthias. We have 5 facets of self, right? We've got our mental, emotional, social, spiritual, and physical. Okay.
I'm glad you said spiritual.
Of course. That's what I mean. We forget. We forget to feed our spirituality. And I think, specifically in American culture, not so much in Australian or New Zealand culture, not sure about British culture, but, there's a strong emphasis on church here.
Mm-hmm.
But that emphasis is only on Sundays.
Yeah.
Right? And for me, religion, spirituality, it's about relationship. It's not about a job.
Yeah.
You can't show up once a week and say, hi, God, what's up? Good to see you. See you next week.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the least. It's about constantly, spending that time to feed your soul, feed your belief system, feed your relationship with your God or goddess or whatever faction of spirituality you want to believe in. That is really important. So, every day, yes, and I have been scaling back a little bit. I have, a very full calendar of events. And, so I'm doing my live streams, my live stream showcases 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm doing a Real Talk podcast on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. And then I get to do a whole bunch of other fun podcast things like this with other organizations that, that help spread love, positivity, and empowerment. And that's really important to me. But don't get it twisted. I also spend, an hour every day reading or listening to audiobooks. I also at least an hour a day doing something physical for my body. I spend, half an hour a day meditating, stretching, cuddling my cat, all of these things that sort of help make us human. And the social aspect, I walk around my neighborhood and I holler hello at all of my neighbors who are on their
awesome.
Because now more than ever, we need that connection beyond phone calls, beyond Facebook hello things. You've hit on so many points, and we've only got 8 minutes left, unfortunately. I guess first point is when you feel pressured to be conservative, one of the things, or dim your shine, one of the things that I've really resonated with recently has been like, if you can't see the light, be the light.
Yeah.
There are so many people, especially in DC, who are like secretly freaking awesome, like and creative, and they're just looking for somebody that's doing what they want to be doing so that they can join forces.
Yeah.
Like even the most conservative, penguin suited people,
Yeah.
that I have met are like, yeah, by the way, did you know that I sing in a barbershop quartet and I'm writing this music and I love it? Like I secretly listen to Neil Young as well as Tupac. Like,
Yeah.
There's all these kind of niche communities that they're just looking for people like us to like be like, it's okay. We're doing our thing. Join us. You don't have to like exclaim it to the world that that you're a freak with us, but like let your freak flag fly.
Yeah.
We're in this together. And then when it comes to creating like that starving artist mentality and breaking that down and creating a new kind of way of looking at things, I honestly believe when people keep talking about this new normal that we're going through or that we're moving towards, like what is it going to look like? Yo, it is up to us to shape that.
Yeah, for sure.
It is up to us to make that new normal work for us. We have been living in this very patriarchal, mindset for generations.
Yeah, a shift was needed. This time is so necessary.
Right, and when we're seeing it, we're seeing communities come together. We're seeing neighbors know each other's names and talk to each other and bring each other bread, milk, and eggs. We're seeing each other, like we're showing up for each other. We're feeding that feminine energy, which doesn't mean female.
Yeah.
More loving, embracing.
That maternal, that loving, like things that really matter.
Right. So, there's all these things that we're able to do that we're able to shape this future for ourselves. And I think a big part of that is, again, feeding that and respecting that and elevating that inner freak in all of us. And by freak, I mean that rebel that's like, okay, y'all thought that it was cool to chase money, status, and hunger, but your rooftop office with the beautiful view
means nothing.
Doesn't mean anything if you can't afford to feed yourself.